What's up, gang? Tony here from Beastmode Camping, and today I've got two new flashlights to check out. Both from Wuben. This one's the G5. I'm sure you guys by now have probably seen this one, as well as the X4. Now this one's not quite available yet. It is on Kickstarter at almost half price, so you may want to check this one out before we're done.
Warning. This video contains fast flashing images. Your discretion is advised.
So I am going to make two specific videos for these. So first off, let's go ahead and start with this one. Now I've done so many flashlight reviews that when Wuben reached out to me with this one, I wasn't sure if I wanted to take a look at it or not because I do have a ton of other content I've got to get to. And just like my Temu reviews, I like to bring you guys value. So I said, what the heck, let's go ahead and do it. So let's jump right in. And yes, I'm standing in the middle of this stream because I wanted to give you guys some background to look at. So first off, you can tell this thing's tiny, like real small. It can fold up right in the palm of your hand and not even be noticed. So this is a bit different. It's got three settings right here on the side. So this one shows lock when it's down here, the light, and then shows the power compartment right here. So if we turn it on, you hit one button, and this thing is a pretty bright light, as you guys can see. And we'll do the nighttime test as well. Now it does have a smaller battery, but this thing gets pretty bright. You're not gonna be able to see right now, but again, we'll do the test later tonight. It also does have this, which is foldable, so you can pivot it around. I did see reports online that this was difficult to move, but mine's moving no problem. That's kind of cool. Now, the weird thing about this, if you notice the clip is on the side here, and what are you gonna do? Clip that and have it just sticking out, which, I mean, maybe if you put it on your belt like this and had it facing out, but that's, you know, kind of an odd position. Now, if you pull on this slightly, it's got like a little magnet in here. You can flip it to the side, both the front and back. And the light, basically you turn it on, if you can see, it just kind of goes subtly and subtly down until it's just moonlight mode. Now it's non-step, so it can just keep going up until it's at full brightness. Now full brightness of this is about 400 lumens, which isn't super bright, but for something this small and compact, that's not horrible. And I do like how they don't say that it's got 10 million jillion lumens. Now if you double click it, you can see it turns red and blue. So maybe put that on your dash if you're trying to pull someone over. If you double click it again, it's got red and green. Double click it again, it's got, I think that's more of a red and yellow, and then back to red and blue. But how's this thing perform at night? Tony? Hey, thanks, Tony. All right, guys, so before we get into the G5, let's take a look at the lamest light I could find. And this was like a, I don't know, I think it was like 75 cents or something like that. But let's see how this one performs. Okay, it's got a pretty good corona on it with a, you know, bit of a hot spot there in the middle, but you can see in front of you. Not horrible. So again, this is like that 75 cent Walmart special. I don't even know if this was $1, but now let's check out the G5. Tons of light there. Let's turn it all the way up. Kind of holding it like a lighter. Again, I'm not sure why you would hold it this way, but you do have that option. You can tell this one has a lot less of a hot spot right in the middle, and everything's just really bright. So I do like this light. So right here, that is the moonlight, and you can barely see it. I've got it on kind of a violet, and that's probably why. Okay, so once you set it on a light, you can double click it, and it also does a little flash, and just on, hold the button, and it turns all the way on. At this point, I noticed that it was less responsive to the scroll wheel, and it wasn't going any dimmer as I was scrolling it. I think that had to do with the batteries kind of going out on it though, as even the brightest setting looked fairly dimmer than when we initially started a minute ago. Oh no, it looks like I ran out of juice on this one. I'm gonna have to go fill it up and we'll be right back. Now I will say that this thing charged very, very quick. This thing went from 0 to a full charge in what felt like about 15 minutes. You can tell it changes from red to blue once it's complete. Now one bad thing about this light is that at 400 lumens, that's quite a small battery for that amount of juice. And as their detail sheet notes, you only get about 50 minutes on a full charge. Now that's not quite within my lifestyle settings, so I'm not sure how I can use this other than keeping a battery pack around, because an hour, when I go camping for days. Now this is going to be a great emergency light to keep around the house, or maybe even take on dog walks because it is bright enough. Now as for battery life, I'm going to say that's one of the downsides of it as well. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Now I've reviewed the cheapest of the cheap before, and this one isn't quite that. At around 20 bucks, I did see discount codes out there as well. That's not the cheapest, but as far as the construction, it feels solid. I don't know if there's a place to take the battery out, but it does have a spot right here for a lanyard, as well as it's got a magnet on the back. While it's not the strongest magnet, it does hold and seems okay. Oh, did I mention it's waterproof? Now you're not going to go diving with this thing, but if it happens to fall in some water, you're not going to be in that much trouble, as long as it's not like 20 feet deep. Now at first I wasn't even sure if I wanted to review this, just because, I mean, a $20 light, but what are you guys looking for? I do want to make sure that you guys are getting stuff that's valuable, able to bring around camp, also use around the house. This might fit the bill. For only 20 bucks, it goes in your pocket nice. I think my only concern with this is that it's so small, it could get lost in your pocket. Now, for those of you that are familiar with my content, leave a note in the comments and let me know if you want me to run it over, smash it. I don't think I want to take an axe to this one, but let me know. Seems solid so far. I'm also going to make individual videos for these, and since I've already done the G5, now let's take a look at the X4. Now this is a bit of a different design. Looks pretty sci-fi if you ask me. But not only does it have a flashlight, it's also got a lantern that's going right here. And this thing can be used up to 720 hours on its lowest setting. And again, since I'm standing in the middle of a stream, I'm gonna go ahead and show just my hands, because you don't need to see this. So a couple things about this. First of all, on the back, it is magnetic, and it's got this tactical push button right here. Basically, you hit it and nothing happens unless you've got this in its different positions. So right now it's in the locked position. It's got a lantern mode, a flashlight mode, and moonlight. So first, let's take a look at the flashlight. Oh, excuse me. That is the lantern since it's facing this way. Now right now it's in lantern mode, and that blue light, check this out. Can change green, amber, yellow, orange, red, basically all the different colors, and then back to blue. There's a little magenta. And we'll take a look at these at night to see how they hold up. Hold it for a couple seconds and it turns to lantern mode. Now, as you turn it up, obviously that's going to use more of your battery, but it gets pretty bright. Now, if you double tap it, it's going to change between different colors. So right now it changes red and green. Tap it again and it turns to red and blue. Tap it again, it turns to red and green. Again to red and yellow. Now I'm guessing it's, if you put that on your dashboard, people are going to start pulling over for you. Tap it again to shut it off. Now if you move it to flashlight mode, you turn that and it's immediately on moonlight. Now it's got no steps to it, so you can just make it as hot as you want. Obviously that one's pretty bright. Now this one is 1200 lumen. So one light does that, double click it for boost. You can also make it boost just by using the scroll wheel, and then all the way back down to moonlight. It also has a moonlight feature right here where when you turn it on, it is just a very faint light. Now again, using the lowest setting, using the lantern, it's good for 720 hours. That's a ton. You tap the back, and it's called the tactical back down here, but you tap it. Now if you double tap it, it turns into a strobe light. and it still turns the strobe up here even if it's set to lantern mode. Now to get into the battery, you hit this on the back here, just flip this up and press that in. That's going to expose the battery. Now this is an 18650, standard 18650 battery. You're going to find this in a lot of the bigger brands out there, and this is 3400 milliamp hours. Well, it says 30 right here, it says 3350 milliamp hours, so I'm not sure what that is. Close it back down, pop the lid on, go ahead and lock it, you're good to go. Now it does have a big belt clip, and this one is thick and strong. This thing's crushing my finger, but obviously you can use it right there. You can use the magnet on the bottom depending on what you're trying to do with it. And as you can see here, it has 4 different lights. The moonlight, in fact, we'll go ahead and turn it on real quick. And if we just turn it to moonlight, it's very dim. If I can get it to turn on. So moonlight doesn't even turn up. Turn it to regular. And I accidentally hit the button there. So you can't put it on lock when you put it in your pocket. Now, one of the weird things I thought about is that, you know, the lock position I would like to actually see up here. And the only reason is as you jam this into your pocket, you could hit something. I mean, you're going to have less of a problem if you're using a belt or something, but if you are putting it into your pocket, chances are that's going to come up. It does expose the power adapter. Now that's the USB-C, so it does have fast charging capabilities to it. And as you guys can see, I am melting out here as usual. It's not because I was splashing around in the water at all. I am melting. Now, if you'd like to pick one of these up, I'll leave a link in the description so you can take a look at them. For a limited time, you're going to be able to pick them up through their Kickstarter campaign at about 40 to 50% discount. So I suggest you take a look at it, because after that, I think they're about 90 bucks. And that's just the lantern. Well, let's see what this thing looks like at night. All right, so first off, we're gonna put it in regular mode. Let's go all the way down with it first. And take a look. So moonlight, this is moonlight right here. And that's pretty slim. Trying not to get too much of the overflow from my other light that's just lighting up my hand right here. But pretty slim. Let's non-step, turn it all the way up. And then we're going to compare it against my favorite flashlight, like I do in most of my videos. That has a nice throw to it, very little fall off outside the middle of it, creating that kind of corona. But I do like how warm and the color of this light. Okay, now let's check it up against my all-time favorite here. The X4 is on my right hand and my favorite on my left, and let's just see. So I do still think, okay, this one's rated, or this one's stated at 1200 lumens, and this one's 1100 lumens. Now I gotta say, this one's still my all-time favorite. Look at that, just kind of fills the area there compared to this one. It does have some noticeable bright spots to it, but I would say it's a bit dimmer than my all-time favorite. But again, a different take on a light, and my all-time favorite currently, it doesn't have a lantern to it. So now let's check out the lantern features of this. I think this is at its brightest. Yeah, so at its dimmest, you can just barely see. Let's go ahead and turn it up a bit. That is pretty bright for a lantern, especially if we're wanting to just kind of sit on the ground, maybe have it light everything up. I really do like this. Now, let's say instead of this, maybe we want to tell some spooky ghost stories and really get the kids involved. I change the colors of it, changes the mood. I really do like this. Not so sure about green here, but definitely putting off a vibe. Ooh, now there's a, it just turned into a Martian or something. But it gives pretty good coverage. Obviously, I don't know about the blue light so much, or the dark blue, but we've got it. Now the red light you will see a lot, especially in people that are doing astrophotography and stuff like that, because then you can still see the stars and the white light's not going to mess you up. So good call on this. Again, you just hold the button and it's going to switch it back to the bright light. And again, on the dimmest section, or the dimmest setting here, you can see I've got an okay amount of light. I could, while it looks pretty good on camera right here and you can see my hand really good, I do think like if you're gonna read from this and stuff, you're gonna need it up quite a bit higher. I could read through this, but on its dimmest setting, that's really gonna strain your eyes. So maybe just something in your tent to light up just a little bit, or maybe a safety light in the event of an emergency at your house or something like that if you lose electricity. So good job. And one thing, it's also got the flash that if you put it on any of the colors, now you can't change colors while it's in flash mode, but you have to change it back. So just hold the button down, double tap it again. That brings it up solid, and then you can change the color of it. So now I've got it on kind of a yellow or amber. Double tap it, and it's gonna stay on that while it's blinking. And yeah, it just stays blinking. So I could see this, strapping it to your backpack if you're going at night and somebody needs to follow you or something. Probably not a bad indicator. I'm gonna put this on my dashboard and kind of wee-oo, wee-oo. All right, so that's about it for the stuff at night. And back to you, Daytime Tony. And as always, I wanna thank you for watching this review. And if this is the right content for you, don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you next week. If you like this type of content, make sure you check out our YouTube channel where we have hundreds of videos just like this. If you want to see our newest adventures, be sure to click the subscribe button and ring that bell so you never miss another video. Hmm.